Hello, how is everyone doing? It is your fallen angel back with another video. Today, we are going over the flowery bow of Cupid. Explained. But before we start, feel free to like and subscribe. And let's just begin the video. So when we talk about the flowery bow of Cupid, what we really mean is lust, right? And how it is shot out. Lust is powerful. It carries a flowery bow equipped with 5 arrows, namely Mohana, Stampana, Umnanda, Shoshana, and Tapana. So, what these 5 are fascination, stupefaction, intoxication, emanciation, and burning. One arrow causes fascination in young men when they see a beautiful form. Another arrests their attention. The third intoxicates them. The fourth arrow causes intense attraction towards the form. The fifth arrow inflamed and burns their heart. It pierces their cardiac chambers deeply. So these arrows are similar to, because we as men, masculine is active, it's visual. Women are passive, emotional, right? These are the two polar opposites. Everything operates in duality. So when we understand this, these arrows are what pierces visual light apparatus. It pierces the brain as well. No one on this earth, nay, in all the 3 worlds, has the power to resist the potential influence of these arrows. These arrows pierced even the hearts of Lord Shiva and many rishis of yore. We understand that Lord Shiva is the destroyer. He is one of the main 3 gods in the Hindu religion, whether this be Vishnu, Brahman, and Shiva. Even Shiva was pierced by these arrows of lust. Cupid directly shoots an arrow through the bewitching eyebrows and piercing glances of a young lady with tender waist, rosy cheeks, and red lips. Moonlit night, scents and perfumes, flowers and garlands, sandal paste, meat and liquor. Theaters and novels are his mighty weapon to delude the passionate young men. So we see that Cupid operates through all facets, right? He tries to operate through all 4 glands of the brain, whether this be the occipital, the parietal, the temporal, or the frontal. He's trying to make sure he gets into all of your senses. This is what lust does. It tries to get to all senses. Smell, sight, hearing. All of these sights is what Cupid tries to. When we say Cupid, we really just mean lust. What lust is trying to encapsulate. Now, when we say the bewitching eyebrows and piercing glances of a young lady, what we mean is when they make such visual contact or staring for such a long period of time, they send these type of poison arrows to a man. And man, considered to be active, the aggressor, is who is to act upon these desires. See, women have a much more greater way to keep their urges discreet, right? They don't act upon them, right? They expect men to be the aggressor, which the masculine is considered active. That's why they may just stare at you for long periods of time, but they won't never necessarily say anything about it, right? They will be hinting towards what they want, but they necessarily won't do anything about it. This is why men are the aggressor, right? In previous videos, we explained how lust is a primary factor for why a lot of crime happens. So we have to understand how powerful this is as a visual creature and why it's so important to maintain your eyesight, lower your gaze, and become very prominent in this practice in Brahmacharya. Reason and discrimination take to their heels the moment their hearts are filled with burning passion. They all become almost absolutely blind. Cupid makes intellectual persons great orators, ministers, and research scholars, doctors, and barristers, as pleasure deer or pet dogs in the laps of young ladies. So what this really means is even the most competent, genius, psychopath, whatever you want to call it, high IQ individuals, even these individuals can get caught in this fire-like passion when it comes to attraction, right? This desire, this attraction, this lust is so immense. We've seen so many millionaires, billionaires lose what they got over lust, lose families over lust, lose their entire livelihoods over this lust, right? It's important to understand how this operates and how you must control your primal desires and stay with your neocortex, your left hemisphere brain, and this ideology of reason and discrimination. You must stay prominent on this. Your greatest tool as a man is your ability for discernment. Reason has temporarily taken its seat in the dry intellect of a learned pundit or a professor. He has no real stamina. Cupid knows his strength. Cupid reigns supreme everywhere. He penetrates the hearts of all. He knows how to tickle their nerves within the twinkling of an eye. He destroys reason, discrimination, and understanding by simply inflaming the passion of young men. Like we previously just mentioned, the tool of discernment, reason, and discrimination is your greatest ability as a human being. This is what differentiates us from animals, is our neocortex. Our ability for rationality, for logic, for reasoning. This is what differentiates us from animals. The ability to choose right from wrong, right? Now, in nature, animals don't know the difference between what could be considered right or wrong. They only know to survive and reproduce. It is us who have this ability to discriminate and use reasoning. Now, when you don't have these, when you're not operating in the neocortex brain, what you're saying is you're only operating in the reptile brain, the 4Fs, and you're only operating in this reproduction and survival mindset. Or maybe a step further will be the limbic system or the horse brain, which is ego and emotions. Excuse me. Even in dreams, Cupid has a full sway. Even when all the Indriyas are silent, ladies are his infallible agents. They are always at his beck and call. Cupid operates through their smiles, bewitching glances, and sweet words, through their melodious songs and ball dances. Like we mentioned, guys, men are operating in this visual level. So when they're operating in this visual light apparatus, these slight glances, smiles, makeup, these things are what rile up the senses, right? Whether this be using mascara to make the eyes pop out further, the intense use of eyelashes to make the eyes look further, the intense use of blush to mimic the same ideology that happens during copulation. This form of makeup is to pop out these features even more because they know men are visual creatures. This is how Cupid has a full sway on lust. And women use this to their advantage against weak men. And they know it works against weak men. But a man strictly on his purpose, with true iron will, and he's strictly on the purpose of Brahmacharya, or a Kabbalist himself, knows to look past this, and knows that his greatest tool is this tool of discernment, reason, and in control at all times. Because he knows that there is a higher plane of existence, and he knows he will be rewarded greatly for not sticking to his primal urges. Young girls work quickly, the ruin of men, and can disturb the peace of even the minds of sages. Like we mentioned, guys, no one can be safe to this. Even the great Shiva has been taken through the arrows of Cupid. Many of the great rishis, many of the great sages, many of the great doctors, entrepreneurs, psychologists, have all felt this fury passion, right? This animalistic desire doesn't go nowhere. It is part of your triune brain, the reptilian brain, the horse brain, and your final neocortex, the two of which overpower the neocortex. Cupid can make the nervous system of brahmacharyans quiver in the delirium of imaginary pleasure, even when they think of the pictures of young, beautiful ladies, even when they hear the gentle sounds of their bracelets and anklets, even when they think of their blooming faces. What to speak of touch then? So, like we say, men get riled up just by the thought of it, just by the the visionary thought of it. This is why pornography is so abundant. This is why we see so much degradation on Instagram. This is why we see so much lust the way it is. See, the thing is, men operate visually. Women operate of what they hear or what they can read. This is why women love literature, because when they read about things, this is much better than a visual apparatus. Reading it gives them more of an intense feel. Hearing about something in music is more of an intense feel. But for men, the visual imagery trumps all because they are active and visionary. This is not anything wrong with either gender, man or woman. It's to say you must transmute this energy creatively. You must transmute it for the greater good. This is what it finally comes down to. So, guys, this was a video explaining the flowery bow of Cupid and Lust and how it operates in Brahmacharya. Feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to read them. Also, check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. This has been your fallen angel, and I am out.